Hey guys, welcome to our channel Startup Story Media. We are back with another episode of the Startup Story Spotlight, where we bring you content about startups, tech, and innovation in India. I'm your host Suhani Khanna, and today we are here with Mr. Harshad Lalwani, founder and CEO of Hummsa Biotech. I welcome Mr. Harshad to this conversation, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
It's a pleasure to be here, Swani. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So, I would like to start the conversation by you, as a founder of Hummsa. Would you like to tell us more about your education, your work life, and most importantly, how would you land to start your own company?
It's very cliche, I think, in the startup world, but I've never seen the insides of a college, to be honest. I dropped out. I was always an entrepreneur. Uh, the education system didn't really work out for me. The kind of things that I wanted to study were very different than what was being taught. So at the age of 17, 18, I kind of dropped out. I ventured into real estate. I started with a real estate brokerage. Uh, I saw the industry. I understood quite a bit. I made a few, rupees over there. I used that money to start a real estate construction company, which did pretty well. I got a great exit out of it. But my passion always lied in science, and specifically biotechnology, the intersection of how the laws of nature work on our systems, our bodies, and that was always really fascinating. And to be honest, I've always been in a childlike awe whenever I see something related to biology or biotechnology. I mean, the systems that we have are just truly magnificent. And so that was always there. I always studied that. I'm self-taught in biotechnology, and I've always, kept researching, kept studying. Back in 2019, as we saw during the end, 2020 early, when we saw the wave of COVID coming, COVID-19, uh, it was a huge impact on each and every person, right? None of us was spared the psychological impacts or the realizations of the pandemic. Uh, After that, I was really, really moved by seeing the disparity of healthcare. Treatments or cutting edge even diagnostics weren't available to the people who couldn't afford it. The government really stepped in because it was a pandemic. But usually we see that we don't, our lower half of the society, which is like 64% of our population that lies below the poverty line, doesn't get access to quality healthcare. So I went out straight to build up a diagnostic center, and that's what I wanted to do. But while building the diagnostic center, I really saw that through my education, I realized that there are like a lot of cutting edge technologies, but they're not into the market, right? So that is the gap I really identified, and I that's where the mission was born, to bring cutting edge technologies that would lower healthcare costs and improve patient outcomes, and the aim was to bring it to the people. So that's how the journey is unfolded, and that's how Hummsa was born.
Well, that's great, and it's exciting to know that how you have sculpted your future, that how you were so passionate about it, and the commitment that you had towards it, right? So, further taking this conversation, I would like to know that as the visionary behind Hamsa, can you share the core mission that propelled you to launch a biotech company focused on revolutionary healthcare solutions?
So the core mission that it's like a mantra for us. It's heal the sick, right? The name Hamsa is actually we derived it from the sound we make while we breathe in and out, right? So hum is like the sound you make when you're breathing out, and sa is the sound you make while you're breathing in. So basically, we wanted to use the life force as a metaphor of unity. We wanted to stand as a company against illness and diseases and suffering. And it does not matter, your gender does not matter, you could be rich, you could be poor, you could be black, you could be white, you could be man, you could be woman, it does not matter. Hamsa stands to serve you against diseases and illnesses by bringing in cutting edge technologies. So I set out with that mission to, build in this space. And on my journey, I met my co-founder, Dr. Swapnil Sinha, who's also the CEO of IIT Guwahati Bionest, and we shared the same vision. Our vision is, it's simple, that we want to bring cutting edge technologies at a very cost effective price. Like today, if you see new drugs or new treatments that are coming out, they're extremely expensive, and we're not talking about generics. After a certain point, they become really really cheap. But when there's a new treatment out into the market, it's really really expensive. We wanted to solve that gap. We wanted to bring in cutting edge treatments that would be cost effective so that the common man could afford it. And especially for countries like India, where cost is a huge factor, not just cutting edge treatments. Over here, we've got a multitude of infectious diseases, we've got a multitude of lifestyle diseases. And the costs of truly, truly novel and effective medicines become highly expensive. So we both shared that vision, right? And I bring in the business, I bring in, the business development, fundraising, and the sales, the marketing. And Dr. Swapnil is just a phenomenal innovator, right? She's done her postdoc from McGill, from Colorado. She's seen the core world of biotechnology. We see that West has the most amount of innovation when it comes to biotechnology, and Indian firms are actually not lagging behind in innovation. It's just that taking that innovation to the market is what is lagging. And to be honest, this shared vision and this partnership that we have, where I take the business side and she takes the scientific side of things, this actually propelled us even more towards realizing our goal and building our product and taking it to the people.
Well, that's amazing. And the name of the company also has a meaning, and it is so deep and intense and very amazing. The co-founder also has been providing the expertise that they have, has been proving to be, a very transformative change for the healthcare indeed. So moving forward, I would like to know what sets Hummsa apart from other biotech companies in terms of technology, research, focus, or even approach.
So biotech is a huge field, right? And it impacts almost each and every space in the human life, right? We're specifically focused on healthcare and medical technologies. So our current technology that we're bringing to market, we've just finished our clinical validations, and we're working towards regulatory approvals. Uh, Basically, today when we talk about disease diagnostics, there are a multitude of tests that we run, right, in pathology. What we envisioned was simplicity. We wanted to make this whole process simple. We wanted to make it cost effective, and we wanted to make it pretty fast, because the faster the diagnosis, the better the treatment, the better the patient outcomes. For that, what we envisioned was, the first is infectious diseases. That's what we thought about first. We were like, okay, there are multiple infectious diseases, as we've seen with COVID. We've seen with hospital-acquired infection. There are conditions like sepsis, which patients contract in ICUs and through hospitals, or even through, old age. And that can turn very life-threatening within a few hours. Once you're infected, you could have multi-organ failures, and the patients pass away. Now, diagnosing conditions like sepsis are very, very difficult for clinicians because the symptoms are highly overlapping. And to further the issue is that if they do somehow suspect sepsis and they send it for diagnostic testing, there is a for bacteria, you need to go for processes like routine culture. Now, routine culturing takes anywhere between 24 hours to 72 hours, right? This whole process. Now, this kind of time patients do not have in critical conditions. Now, along with that, you also need to test for their immune biomarkers. So, immune biomarkers are basically like what we heard during COVID of like CRP, like C-reactive protein, to see how your body's immune system is responding to the infection. Now, during sepsis, there's an overreaction of the immune system. So you need to really quantify and understand how the immune system is responding for targeted medicine to go in to save the patient's life. Now, for that, there are antibody tests involved. Now, these antibodies are highly expensive. Like a procalcitonin test can cost you anywhere between 5 to 6,000. That's just one biomarker. And there are like 5 markers like procalcitonin proteins in your bloodstream that are tested for, along with the particular bacteria, and it could be multiple bacteria that too. So All of this really constitutes into a high cost, a high time, and high complexity. So we wanted to solve these issues, right? So we built a technology that is a single stop solution, or a device, a single device which could run the bacterial tests and provide results at the speed of 1 minute per biomarker, as you see with rapid tests, right? But we're not a rapid test. Our idea was to make lab grade tests rapid. Like we saw with rapid tests, there was like high speed, but there was no accuracy. So that is another space that we were trying to solve with our technology. So we wanted to make lab grade tests, very, very fast. So our technology can identify the bacteria and also give you the count of the bacteria, which is not available in rapid testing kits or lab grade tests, which take three days to give you that result. So all of this happens within minutes. And parallelly, you could also run the immune biomarkers, which are protein biomarkers, to give you an entire picture of conditions like sepsis or other infections within minutes, thereby enabling clinicians to have personalized treatment plans, therefore save lives and improve patient outcomes. Now, we also saw, now when we're looking at it from a standpoint of a pathology lab, what does that mean? Or a hospital, what does that mean? Is that these institutions, these healthcare stakeholders need to, have highly skilled technicians, infrastructure. They need to invest in highly expensive reagents, right? Which adds to the overall cost and thereby increases the cost of healthcare, right? So with our technology, what we wanted to do is reduce the dependence, which earlier they would have to depend on one machine for RT-PCR, one machine for immunological assays, one for routine culture, and then a whole laboratory infrastructure with temperature control systems. We wanted to replace all of that with a simple setup where we have pre-filled reagent tubes in small tubes. All you need to do is add the patient sample. The sample type depends on what the clinician usually suggests for, and you just need to put it into our device. So the device works at a speed of 1 minute per biomarker, and that data is generated and sent to you on your smartphone, right? So that process makes it very simple, and it makes it highly scalable. Our device, if we were to give you an example of COVID-19, if we were testing for COVID-19 again, 30 patients could be tested with RT-PCR grade accuracy on a molecular level, that is testing for DNA, along with the CRP and antibody counts simultaneously in 45 to 50 minutes on a single device. So that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to simplify the process. We're trying to enable them to scale up their operations. And what we've done, what is revolutionary, is we've innovated on multiple fronts, not just on one front. We've innovated on the biological front, but also on the optics and the hardware and IoT front to make the device highly cost effective, where other devices in the market for immunological assays can range anywhere between 3 to 4 lakhs. A routine culture setup can cost you anywhere between 6 to 7 lakhs. And an RT-PCR can go anywhere between 20 to 25 lakhs. Plus added infrastructure costs, our device just costs you 50,000 rupees. For that price, and the reagents are sold separately, which are also highly cost effective. So what this enables the stakeholders to do, like small laboratories, they usually send these samples, and small hospitals, they send these samples to a centralized testing laboratory. Now they could do all of these tests in-house at a cost-effective price, minus all the hassle of logistics, faster output, therefore better treatment and better patient outcomes, therefore enabling them to save lives and provide healthcare, ease suffering. That is the entire goal of the technology.
Well, that's amazing, because it's different to know that how you are so committed to your project or the mission that you have, that you are able to provide the efficiency on a mass level, not only to particular section of society, but on a mass scale, right? So that's amazing to know. Moving forward, I would like to also, highlight that how you can elaborately explain the long-term vision of Hummsa, like how it aligns with societal or industry needs, because sometimes living in an Indian society, you need to over explain everything, right? So adding to that, how Hummsa aims to revolutionize biotech industry with its cutting edge technology.
So our core platform technology that we use is based on synthetic biology. Now, this particular component it's a validated scientific principle. The actual skill lies in the person who who can develop it. So that's my co-founder, right? Uh, Now, this particular platform technology is so revolutionary, and the potential of it is just massive. This is a theranostic product. What I mean by theranostic is that it acts as a therapeutic inside the body and a diagnostic outside the body, which is revolutionary. Today, it just sounds like a sci-fi movie, but today we've reached a stage in human evolution where it is becoming a reality. You know, if you look at one of the most famous quotes when it comes to sci-fi is just actual real life science waiting to happen. So that's what we've been able to achieve. Now it's all about development. Now as we go further into our journey, after we establish the products pipeline in the diagnostic space, the aim is 100 critical diseases on a single device, enabling clinicians to get highly detailed data on the patient's health, critical biomarkers, and we're not talking about basic biomarkers. Thyroid, vitamin D, and all can be done on the technology, but we're focusing more on critical biomarkers, life-saving biomarkers like cardiac biomarkers. There are 3 to 4 cardiac biomarkers that can actually tell you the patient's having a heart attack right now if nothing else is being able to catch it, and that too at like 1 minute speeds, right? So that is the aim of critical biomarkers, which need that kind of speed, which need that kind of simplicity to be able to test patients by the bedside or at their homes or at the doctor's visit. Now once we build that pipeline out, these same synthetic biology components that we're creating for the diagnostics will then be manufactured and edited and tweaked to act as therapeutics inside the body. Now what this would look like when it reaches the therapeutic stage would be, today most of the cancer drugs that you see are antibody based or antibody drug conjugates that we have. Now the issue with antibody therapies is that it is immunotoxic to the body. It has a high toxicity level inside the body. Now these antibodies are highly expensive, and scaling them is a huge challenge. On top of that, there's logistics involved. You need cold storage. You need the entire chain of cold storage to be able to transport those antibodies, and to replace those with our synthetic biological component is the aim. So imagine cancer drugs that are currently being used where antibodies are the major component, replacing them with our synthetic biological component, which does not have that kind of toxicity in the body, which is 1/10 the cost of what these antibodies are, does not require cold storage. It can sustain temperatures up to 99 degrees, right? It's that good. It's highly stable in the body, and it's as effective as antibodies, right? So this is the future that Hummsa is working towards making. We're working on a prostate cancer therapeutic. It's the same theranostic application. As we're building out the prostate cancer diagnostic kit, the same synthetic biological component will then be configured to work as a therapeutic. So we've already seen success in animal models where we've tested it on animal cell lines, and we've seen some great successes. So in the future, what this would look like is maybe 5-6 years down the line, we'll be able to commercialize that therapeutic and bring the costs for cancer care really down to what it is right now.
That's amazing that you have a vision, that you are able to, you are working on it and you are experimenting with it as well, that you're looking across the cancer in patients, not only at a particular area, that is like, for example, if the breast cancer is being so in so many people, that's not your only target audience. You have a target audience that is like, exactly, right? So you have a complete target of cancer patients. It's not only a particular cancer, but everyone. And moving forward with also that, not only cancer patients, you have been looking to all the ailments that people have been facing these days. That's amazing, and Hummsa is amazingly innovative and precision. The accessibility that is offering in healthcare is amazing. Moving forward, I would like to know that how does Hummsa prioritize its R&D efforts, like to stay ahead in rapidly evolving biotech landscape as well? And can you discuss upon any upcoming projects or collaborations that demonstrate Hummsa's commitment to innovations?
So, as I told you, biotechnology is a very rapidly evolving field, right? And we're seeing the impacts of current technologies like artificial intelligence, and different computing technologies on biotechnology right now. There is AI-enabled drug discovery that's really upping the game, and to stay at the forefront, we're highly like maybe like 60% of our day goes into research, into staying ahead of the current situations. But one thing we've kept at our core is that when you get too involved in innovation, you tend to lose sight of what actually matters, and that's the customer. Too much innovation and going into the competition of who's the most innovative can compromise the delivery that we give to our customers. We have our North Star as our customer, and we work towards using innovative technologies to serve our customers and not the other way around. We don't work on just innovation, and keeping that as a forefront goal. A second. The primary goal, as I told you, the mission is to heal the sick. Now to do that, we identify gaps, we identify problems. See, problems in healthcare are quite evident, right? And they're not something which is a secret. You can see those problems. Now it's about how you solve those issues, how you solve those problems. That's where staying ahead of the research, staying ahead and analyzing the current, the past, and then predicting the future. That's where I guess our unique skills come in. It's all about predictions, and when you predict the future, okay, we're gonna replace antibodies. So that's a huge goal that's going to take probably 10 to 15 years to accomplish, right? And then you see that there's a different space when you come to 10 to 15 years, and you see, okay, there's a different space. So staying ahead of that curve involves continuously staying with the market trends, meeting experts, going to conferences, our own R&D primarily. But the first thing and the most important thing is just observing the pain points of the customer. So that is what drives us. That is what keeps us at the forefront of innovation, and that is how we prioritize our R&D. Now, currently, we have a lot of collaborations. We strongly believe in the academic and institutional collaborations. We are partnered with IIT Guwahati. We're partnered with them on our research, on our development. They've been a very big contributor with our current technology. As you know, Dr. Swapnil is from IIT, so this is kind of like a spin of the technology was developed at IIT Guwahati. Now we're commercializing that. The second is ISER, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, based in Kolkata. ISER is also a critical component towards the success of our current technology. We have Professor Nirmalya Ghosh, who is our advisor and who's in the company with us, collaborating on building these technologies. The future, we have a collaboration in the works with IIT Delhi. We're constantly looking towards collaborations and actually tapping into the great minds of our country. Our country has I always keep saying that the West may have ignited the biotech space, but India is going to lead it. We've got the greatest minds in our country, and we're always looking to tap into that. We're always looking to partner with scientists. We're always open to collaborations with institutions, and that's what we're currently pursuing, and that's what we will continue to pursue.
That's amazing, because you're not only adopting, you're not only focusing on traditional methods of biochemistry, right? You're also not only innovative, but you are taking it holistically together, and you're moving forward with it, and it's like amazing. Moving forward, I would like to know, with the Hummsa's ambition to impact healthcare globally, could you discuss your strategy for forging strategic partnerships and navigating international markets to bring your innovations to a wider audience?
So when we talk about international markets, right? So biotechnology, the innovations that we build are unique globally. They're not just unique nationally. So biotech companies are poised to be global. If you see majority of the medical devices companies or companies like HealthCube, companies like Tricog, they have multinational presence. So that's the way to go in biotechnology, because your innovation is only innovative for a certain period of time. Innovation is always time bound. So it is critical and imperative for us to move globally, and that is our aim. Now, when we talk about the global strategy, now as I told you, what Hummsa stands for is to provide equitable healthcare, right? So we're going to be targeting countries like Africa. We're going to target countries in SEA. So what that's the primary goal is to provide the healthcare at those costs where it's needed. So our current model is a semi-automated model where there is human intervention required. Now, this current model is perfect for countries like India, countries like Africa, where you have a lot of HR, and the need of the hour is cost-effective diagnostics and not complete automation. We are working on our completely automated model, which we will be looking to launch in the European markets and the American markets, because over there the need of the hour is complete automation. HR over there is highly expensive and they really need automation. So for that, we're working on completely automated models. I mean, we have robotics in our current model as well, but the future models are going to be completely automated. So like sample to answer, right? So you don't even need to prepare the sample. Everything's going to be done automatically inside the device. So the strategy remains to focus on these countries first, countries like India, where cost is a higher concern than automation, and then eventually go towards countries where automation is of more importance.
Got that. And it's actually evident that a country so diverse like India, and you are planning to, focus on it first. I think it will make it easier for you when you go in an automated countries like where it is not that much diversity, I would say. But it will be a smoother approach, not only that broadens your audience, but also accelerates the adoption of your cutting edge diagnostics and paving a way of healthcare and transformation, right? So moving forward, Hamsa in sustainability is like, what are the integrated sustainable practices that within the biotech innovation to ensure positive environmental impact? Because currently sustainability is a very important aspect in today's generation, even for the SDGs that we have. So how is Hamsa using its practices towards in the biotech industry?
So what we're doing when we're trying to replace antibodies, the manufacturing of antibodies itself is produces a lot of toxicity, and there are huge carbon emissions involved when we're talking about antibody production. There are greener methods that have been developed for production of antibodies, but yet scalability remains a challenge in them. The current technology that we use, the synthetic biological component, is way more greener than antibodies and has a lesser carbon footprint than its counterpart. Uh, that being said, the practices that we use inside the lab, even while manufacturing, the components used are so eco-friendly, and it's not like a typical pharma. Pharmaceutical companies have a huge, emission of pollutants and chemical wastage, whereas we do not. And we've been adopting green manufacturing practices. There are a few firms that have developed novel green manufacturing practices for our synthetic biological components, and we've been exploring partnerships with them. So the aim is to make this technology with the future of our planet in mind, right? What good is curing humans if you don't have a planet that supports that kind of healthcare? So we have that in our mind, and the current technology that we're pursuing with the zeal of keeping the environment safe and being as green as possible. That's what we're doing right now.
Well, that's very ambitious of towards a sustainability goal, and indeed, it's something that can be eco-friendly for the biotech innovation, and other companies can also, take inspiration from. Most importantly, the pharma industry that needs it the most right now. Bringing this interview to conclusion, I would like you to delve in the research process behind Hummsa Biotech's latest innovations, highlighting any unique methodologies or collaborations that has proven to be a great opportunity to help you grow holistically in such a dynamic industry.
So As I mentioned, I mean, Dr. Swapnil has been a game changer, right? She's one of the most innovative scientists I've honestly met, and the processes she follows is the primary is observation. She's got amazing observation skills. She can observe and she can figure out gaps in spaces which, I mean, frankly, a lot of human beings would miss. Uh, that observation actually allows her unique insights when it comes to product development, coupled with my observations in the market. When we combine those two, we're able to create innovative products for the customer. So if we're just looking at it from an innovation angle, the customer is not satisfied. If we're just looking at it from the customer's angle, a lot of innovations won't happen. I mean, there needs to be a certain balance between the market and innovation to be able to bring out products that truly meet the needs of the market as well as satisfy the quotient of innovation. So these are the processes that we usually keep in our mind. We usually try to imagine what 10 years down the line, the world would be like. And to make that world, I mean, we got to work today. We got to do things today. And what we do it with, we focus on first principles. When we focus on first principles, we try to boil it down to the most basic, boil the problem down to the most basic, aspect of the problem, and then we try to work our way up and see what's what can be done to be able to solve this problem. So we follow that approach, not just in science. We follow the same approaches in management as well within the company. So first principles and observation of what's actually going on has allowed us to be able to create this technology and will guide us into the future as well.
Well, that is actually an amazing vision and commitment towards your goals. And indeed, that Hamsa, the commitment that you have extends beyond compliance, and you have a pioneering future ahead where healthcare technology advances, of course. Many congratulations to you for this industry that you have been building and advancing technology within, where everything was traditional practices, of course. Um, I would like to give you all the best good luck for your future goals and aspirations that you
Thank
have.
you.
Thank you for having this interview. We'll see you again in the next Startup
Thank you
Story
so much.
Spotlight episode. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.